Welcome to No Longer Conformed, my online preaching and teaching ministry. We're studying the book of Revelation, the study which I've entitled The Unveiling. In this session, we'll be looking at Revelation chapter 20, verses 7 through 10, the rebellion terminated. Let's look at those verses. Revelation 20, verse 7. Now when the 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, whose number is as the sand of the sea. They went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints in the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. The devil who deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are. They will be tormented day and night forever and ever. Satan will be loosed at the end of the 1,000-year reign. He is on earth, he's on death row with the lake of fire ahead, but he is released for a little while. Verse 3 tells us that. He will find many willing to follow his deception. Gog and Magog is the general name that's given to identify the many who gathered for the devil to come against the saints. They will obey, listen, they will obey Jesus Christ for 1,000 years. But they won't be saved. Listen, rebellion is lurking in their hearts for the whole time that they're alive during that 1,000 years. So what will the millennium prove? What will it prove? A perfect earthly environment, and the universal knowledge of God will not change men's hearts. And fire came down from heaven, from God out of heaven, and devoured them. Listen, at this point, not one human sinner will be left. Verse 10. The devil who deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. The beast, the Antichrist, and the false prophet will have been there in the lake of fire already for 1,000 years. What's interesting is that Satan was the first to sin and the last to go. Yeah, it's kind of like in the movies, the worst guy is the one who's taken out last. The lake of fire, eternal torment. I mean, just a description of that. People like to say, well, we'll be all with all my friends and everybody partying for all eternity. Well, no, that's not at all what hell will be like. Scripture doesn't give all the details, but it does give enough to understand that that isn't what hell will be like. It says that there'll be darkness. Even though there'll be a lot of people there, it may not be that you'll be able to see them. It says there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That means that there'll be like a grinding of teeth and crying because of just the torment. It's described as a furnace of fire. Unquenchable fire. That it's just going to burn and burn and burn and burn and burn. It calls it a bottomless pit. I don't know what that means for hell, but that's the description. Torment forever. It's referred to as a lake of fire, actually going into the fire and burning and burning and burning for all of eternity, and all the torment of that burning. And then another place it calls it a black darkness. A black darkness means that you can't see anything. You may be there, with many, many, many others. Some that you may know. But it's going to be like you're alone because of the darkness. That's the description of that place. But it also, Scripture also speaks about who are the participants, those who are going to be there. Well, we just saw that it talked about Satan. It also referred to the beast, the Antichrist, and the false prophet. And then another place it talks about evil angels, because that's what the lake of fire was created for, was for the devil and his angels. Unfortunately, humans in their body and in the new body, the eternal body, spiritual body, and their soul are going to be cast into there. We haven't looked at that yet. We will next time, in our next session. But they're going to be cast into there, and it's going to be an everlasting punishment. And then what are the effects of that eternal punishment? Well, separation from God and His glory for all of eternity. And there are several passages of Scripture, particularly in Matthew chapter 11 and in Luke chapter 12, that speak of different degrees of punishment. That everybody's not punished exactly the same, but there are different degrees. Maybe someone like Hitler will be punished at a higher degree than the guy next door. And it's a final state. There's no ending of it. No second chances. That's it. That's something to think about.